Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode number 9. It's Saturday, as you can tell. It's been a while since I've had a haircut and kind of just hanging out in my scrubs this morning. A lot to talk about this morning and tomorrow morning. So this weekend is going to be packed with some good talk. So we're going to talk about today my conversation with the Excel vendor who Excel stocks the Target stores. So retail is always a hot topic, and especially with this week's release of Topps Chrome for baseball and Panini Chronicles for basketball. There was quite the bull rush at a couple of Targets that I visited on Friday. First things, let's talk about the Cubs mail day from Friday. No mail came from as far as baseball cards were concerned. I did pull 4 Cubs cards out of some Topps Chrome that I bought. I'll get to that in a moment, but I did pull 4, including a Javier Baez sepia refractor, a Chris Bryant prism refractor, and then base of Anthony Rizzo and John Lester. So, hey, pulling a couple of refractors out of the limited quantity that I was able to purchase was a great deal. So, I was very happy with the Cubs results, the Cubs hits in those Topps Chrome. So, I did want to track down the vendor's schedule because I was after Topps Chrome. I do know the times that he stocks a couple stores nearby. So one of those happens, his schedule typically on average is around my lunchtime. So I scheduled my lunch around a trip to that particular Target store. He had already stocked by the time I got there, and it's always a crapshoot. Sometimes he mixes up the schedule, but yesterday he was there a little earlier than what I've seen him. It looked fully stocked. It was faced. So I knew that he had recently been there within probably the last hour. So I went over. It looked like there might be some good stuff there. Excuse me. Unfortunately, there was 0 Topps Chrome. There was a sign, though, that says Panini Chronicles, see guest services. So there was a bunch of Series 2, which I never really get into Series 2. I bought, I think maybe this was before Blasters came out. I think I bought like 5 of the jumbo packs. That's all the Series 2 that I bought. There was some Donruss Optic that I thought about, picking up a couple blasters of the Optic. And then there was a bunch of football, which, I'm not into football. So I thought Panini Chronicles, I know basketball is super hot right now, and the flip rates are just insane. So I thought, hey, I made a trip over here. I'm just going to check out guest services, see what they have, see if I can get any Panini Chronicles. So I went over guest services, and they went in the back, and they were limiting 1 each. So you could get 1 pack, you could get 1 blaster box, 1 hanger box, and 1 mega box. So the young lady came back out, and she goes, you can have a set, which she described as the 4 different packs / boxes, or you can pick one of whatever you want. So I'll take the set. So I bought the 4 pieces, and as I was checking out there at guest services, which is right across from the card section, the vendor came, and we're very friendly, super nice guy. We've had conversations several times over the last couple of years. So I waved, and then after I checked out, I went over and talked to him. And what he was doing was taking pictures of the completed display. And I've seen him do this on occasion, not all the time. But he was taking pictures and just talking, and so he said, And he just kind of sighed. He goes, "The next few weeks are going to be rough. There's 9 sports card releases." So he obviously he knows. He's one of the most popular guys in Target these days. Um, so I said, how many people were waiting when you got here? He said there was just one person waiting. Now waiting at the card section, because I have seen guys lurk around the store, and I've been guilty of being a lurker. Vendor's not here yet. Grab a cart, do some shopping, just kind of keep an eye on the card section. So he did say that while he was stocking, several guys showed up, so he had quite the line. He did say as far as well, and then I asked about Topps Chrome. He said that was wiped out immediately. He did say with Panini Chronicles, the Topps Chrome at this store was not limited in quantity for purchase. However, the Panini Chronicles was, because this particular store did not have a large selection of Chronicles, so they were limited. And I think he said maybe 6 mega boxes, some blasters and packs and whatnot. So he didn't give me the exact numbers, but he said it was less than usual. So that's why and it was his idea to limit the quantities. And I'll get to that in a moment, as far as our conversation with limiting the products. So actually, we'll get to that right now. I have my notes for my conversation, so my apologies there. So he did say every Target is different, because then I asked, is the other store that he would stock later, are they limiting quantities? And that's actually the store that's closest to my house. And I usually go there a couple times a week just for regular Target runs. And I've never seen any signs or anything. In fact, in here in Madison, this is the first time at this Target with the basketball that I've ever seen a limited quantity sign in the card section. Although I've seen pictures on social media that has been popping up more frequently this year. He did say every Target is different. He said he's not a big fan of limiting quantities. Obviously, their goal is to push product out as fast as possible. Hey, it's sales. And same with Target. The more they sell, the quicker they can get replenished in certain instances. So it's not enforced equally amongst Target stores, and I think we all know that based on our own experiences and seeing what other stores are like. And one of the problems is, even if it is a limit quantity rule, it's not enforced by all employees. He did say that, and he didn't tell me the store, but one of the guys that was waiting shared a story about, I think it was Series 2 when it came out. He bought 50 blaster boxes. Well, he tried to buy 50 blaster boxes, and the cashier said, nope, you can only buy 2, and he had to put 48 back. I don't know if he actually put 48 back or left them at the counter at the register, but that was enforced, and it's not enforced equally, even when there is a limit quantity rule in a particular store. So it's a huge gray area. And I don't have an answer. And honestly, I don't have a strong opinion either way. I've cleared a shelf for product I want. And I don't have an issue with it. Obviously, I've done it, so I don't have an issue if others do it. Yeah, it's a bummer when you go into a store and you want a product and it's not there. So, in that sense, a limit quantity, hey, I'd be a fan of, because if there wasn't a limit quantity rule at the store I went to yesterday, I wouldn't have been able to get these basketball cards. Now, I put those on eBay right away because I don't collect basketball, but I can flip these, make some money, and boost my PC, get some Cubs cards that I want. And I didn't clear a shelf. I followed, the rules that were in place. I didn't stalk the card vendor. I knew his schedule, but I didn't stalk him. And I bought one of each, and I was able to turn $180 purchase into basketball cards into almost 1,000. Actually, it was 1,000 gross on the because I made a trip to the other Target um, later in the afternoon. So if there is a limit quantity, I'm all for that. Especially when it comes to some basketball stuff that's a hot flip. Bowman mega boxes, and that is a hot rip for me. I love opening the Bowman and the Bowman mega boxes. I was fortunate enough this year to get 20 mega boxes. In years past, I've struck out. One year I got 4. One year I had some awesome people ship them to me at cost. I love that product, and I think a limit quantity would be okay on some of those hotter products that are limited. Should you put a limit quantity on Bowman Series 1, Series 2? Absolutely not, because that stuff there's always going to be stuff available. Maybe not on release week, but eventually there's going to be restocks. It's going to be available online. It's going to drop in price. It's not going to be selling for double, which was ridiculous in the beginning. So hey, the only problem I have is if it's a rule, enforce it across the board. And I know it's difficult, and the difficult part of it is because there's several people involved. There's Excel, who is the third party vendor for Target. There's Target, by store, because managers can dictate if there's a limit quantity. So it's not coming from the top of the Target chain. So it's difficult. But I have no strong opinion either way. I know some people do, and they get hot over people filling their cart with cards. And then there's other guys that get hot at the guys that get hot at. There was a lot of upset people on Twitter yesterday with people filling their carts on Topps Chrome. And if you want to clear a shelf. I don't care. They're not limiting quantities on copy paper and other stuff. And I know that's a bad example because there's a lot out there. But that's enough on that topic. Moving on to the second store. I actually skipped out and made a quick trip mid-afternoon because I know he has shown up at this other store a little early and I've missed out going later. So I had to pick up a couple things. He hadn't been there yet. Walked around the store, picked up a couple things, went back, still wasn't there. So I went home, and it's only a less than 5-minute drive to my house. So came back at 4:30, and there was about 6 guys over by guest services, and I saw my card vendor, and there's some competition. Hopefully I can get something. So what they had done at this Target was they were limited quantities on everything for the time being, for the guys that were waiting. So the vendor and the Target manager or Target employee was there with the XL boxes, and they were limiting the quantities again on basketball, 1 each of the 4 different SKUs, and then the Topps Chrome, Blaster, Hanger, and Jumbo Pack, Fat Pack. So there were 6 guys in front of me. Fortunately, I was able to get 1 each of both the Topps Chrome and the basketball. A couple guys I saw get their stuff and linger, waiting for the leftovers, I guess. So I wasn't about to do that. So I checked out and came home. So that was interesting, and I liked the way they handled that. I think that's a good way to handle it. I think that's the best way to handle it. If there are 6 guys waiting, because that can be intimidating for the vendor himself. And, if there's a greedy guy that says, well, I've been here 2 hours, they're mine, everything's mine, it's first come, first serve. There can be, some animosity amongst the group of people there. Um, the vendor did, in my earlier conversation with the vendor, he said he has not had any issues with guys fighting or trying to grab stuff. He said he hasn't had. Everybody's been good. And he says that most of the guys, while they're waiting, they talk and decide, okay, we'll split it and all that. In fact, that's me and another guy saw him for the mega boxes, and the vendor came up and he said, "Do you guys want to split them?" Yeah, sure. So that's a good thing that he hasn't himself. I know other stores may have had issues, but here he has not had issues, and I really liked the way that it was handled at both stores, really. If you want to limit quantities on the hot stuff, I thought that was great. I thought the way it was handled especially with six guys, if there's nobody around waiting, salivating for the card guy, if there's nobody there and you have limited quantities, that they're going to come out of the woodwork. Maybe put a sign up like the first store. But if there's a big group of guys waiting, I think the way it was handled at the second store was fantastic and made me happy. I just wanted to rip some Topps Chrome, and I get it. I get it for the guys that get upset because somebody clears a shelf of 40 boxes and then flips them. Tries to flip them for, 30 or 40 bucks, try to double their money. And that's what I do on basketball. But, when you are clearing a shelf, I can get that, hey, I just want to rip some Topps Chrome. I don't need 30 boxes. I'm not going to flip it. I want the Cubs. I'm going to sell and trade the rest. So I do get the animosity. But I also understand the other part where, hey, it's capitalism. I'm following the rules. There's no limits in place. It's there for sale. I'm going to take it. And honestly, if guy number one doesn't, guy number two is. So again, I just don't have a strong opinion either way on that topic. And I know others in the hobby do. So that's going to wrap things up for Hobby Evolution episode number 9 already. Tomorrow, another great topic, eBay managed payments. I was forced to sign up by eBay for managed payments by, I think, July 15th. I signed up. It went live the end of the month. And I was very nervous because a lot of my sales are 99 cent, $1.50. They're cheap sales. So my PayPal account is set up for micro payments, which instead of 2.9% and the 30 cents per transaction fee, it's only 5 cents per transaction and then 5%. So the break-even point is right around, it's like $12.63 is the break-even point on total fees between standard and micro payments. So eBay managed payments a little different. I was very concerned about what it would do to my margins on those 99 cent sales and those $2 sales. I was pleasantly surprised, and I'll share my my numbers with you tomorrow and my thoughts on eBay's managed payments. So that's going to wrap things up. Almost 20 minutes today. Again, 4 Cubs cards, all from my Topps Chrome rip yesterday. A couple of refractors of Bryant and Baez, so I was very happy about that. Total count is now at 470,012 Cubs cards. Thanks for tuning in today, and check in tomorrow with what I receive on Saturday and a little chat about eBay managed payments.